Don't miss all the Shadespire expansions for Warhammer Underworlds.
Spiking bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Baer, and today we're taking a look at the two new expansions for Warhammer Underworlds. These things are great. And, of course, there's sleeves and dice. I'm not going to open these up because, I mean, dice is dice, right? You don't make some seriously sweet dice these days, and I don't feel like you really need to see these because you probably already know what they are. So $10 for these two dice packs right here. And then, of course, the sleeves themselves are $8. I haven't really used these. I did the demo. I haven't really heard all the quality. I know some of the Magic card players are very particular about what sleeves they use and such like that. So if you have used them and you've been using them since Shadespire came out, let us know the condition of your sleeves and how they're faring, and if you feel like it's kind of starting to stick together or anything like that. I'm just kind of curious because that is a real thing in at least the Magic card world. So down to the two expansions themselves, you got the Chosen Axes and the Spiteclaw's Swarm, of course, Skaven, and the Naked Fire Dwarfs. We'll go with that. $30 expansions each this week from Games Workshop. Let's take a look inside now. There's going to be a bunch of different cards in here that some can be used for anything. Some can be, well, let's take a look at the box real quick. So here's obviously their push fit. Not a whole lot of crazy assembly or glue even required at this point. Contents: 4 fighters, 4 fighter cards, 29 chosen axes, 31 universal upgrades, ploys, and objective cards. And there's a actual scale picture of how big the model is. So expansion wise, you're gonna get your 4 dwarf mans right there, the chosen axe instruction sheet, and this neat little plastic tray that you can grab all the cards out of or store them in here if you need to. Now they're not going to store in here in sleeves, unfortunately, but that's kind of the way things go. So let's check out the instructions for these guys here. I don't think it's very complicated, to be quite honest. Just glancing at them right here, it looks like a bunch of front and back computer swipes, which are slices, which you're going to see front and backs, head. Even the arms are kind of together. This is that whole push fit that we saw with the Japanese Space Marine heroes. I think we also saw it with that one Age of Sigmar character too that came out around Christmas time, and some of the Blight War stuff, or excuse me, not Blight War stuff, some of the Death Guard stuff, along with the push fit aggressors and Redemptor Dreadnoughts. So they're finding ways to put this stuff out for cheaper and cheaper. And it's cool to see because, you know, they can give you a lot more value in the starter boxes. And of course, the big rumor out there is that, you know, stuff like this only costs mere cents. One figure supposedly only costs 25 cents to produce, according to one person on the internet that had looked into it. But hey, people got their profit margins, got to pay for their infrastructure. We know how business works around here, right? So here's the first figure. Or the first figure's right here, and then you've got the next one right here. It's just front and back. Literally, it looks very simple. I think it's going to take more time to cut these guys out than push fit them together. Over here, you've got 2 parts, and the arms are separate. So it seems to be a reoccurring theme right there. And then they are in that sweet, sweet Berserker orange color. So let's see how easy they are to put together, and then talk about the cards. Well, I suppose before we do all that, we should at least take a look at the sprues so you can see how they were. Now, the bases themselves are very well detailed out. I mean, most of the miniature themselves is. I mean, look at all this great detail. There's even little hairs. Little, are those hairs? I can't even tell. Are those, yeah, those are runes cut into the dwarf itself. Those aren't hairs, those are runes. Everything looks the same from this distance to the camera. But yeah, I mean, these are very well detailed out. Look at all the gold trim, the belt medallions, we'll call them, some of the tabards and such. Where are the faces? Let's take a look at the faces. Haven't found a face yet. There's a dwarf beard. Okay, so it looks like it's a lot of beard. So yeah, these are pretty well detailed. All right, let's cut them out. See how long it takes to put together. So as far as the models themselves go together, very, very easy. I mean, it is literally push fit. It took longer to clip these off. Now you may have to get the ends a little bit with your hobby knife, like stuff like this right here. If you're gonna paint it, all those pieces just kind of sticking off. But other than that, it goes together swimmingly right here. Now there are some gaps, so you do want to do a little bit of extra trim work, but I mean, you get the idea. It literally took longer to clip this out carefully than it did to assemble it. I mean, look at it, it's just gorgeous. Completely gorgeous. Very well detailed, and it's orange. What else could you want from a Dwarven Fire Slayer? Card wise, there is a bunch of upgrade cards, 60 of them to be precise, and there's going to be ones that are faction specific, of course. Like you've got your, your player cards here that are going to pertain to the models in this set, but then of course there's going to be universal stuff that you're going to be able to play with in anybody's stuff, and that's kind of the I guess the relative collectability of it here, right, as far as that goes. So here's your objectives that are specific. Here is your upgrade cards that are specific. We're not really going to go over those. And then you've got actually a few more, quite a few of those. So you're going to have 9 that are 9 objectives that are specific. You're going to have 10 upgrade cards that are specific to the chosen axes, and then there are going to be some ploys as well right here that are also going to be specific to these guys. So 9, 10, and 10 that are specific to them. Then the stuff that everybody's probably wondering about, well, at least all the other faction players out there, are the cards that are not specific and that may or may not have already been out. I have no way of knowing because I've only done basically what it comes in the demo, so I really couldn't tell you as far as what is out already and what hasn't been out already. I know the numbering system on the side was a great idea from Games Workshop there. So there's the first group of ploys, and then the other 3 ploys there. So there's 11 ploys that are universal rather. I thought there was 10. Yeah, there is. No, that's 11. I don't know. Maybe I counted them. Maybe I counted them wrong. Oh, these are. Oh, that's why. These are objectives. Yeah, there's 11 of those. So there's your universal objectives. Hopefully those help somebody out right there. Here's your universal upgrade cards, and there is 11 of these as well. Dish them out. Like I said, not too much commentary on them at this point because I'm not super familiar with the game. Oh, there's 10 of them. Boom. And last but certainly not least, the ploys that I was trying to show you for like ever. Those are going to be right here. Last 3. And then we have a Spiteclaw's Swarm. That's the Skaven guys here, and you can see, hey, look, push fit models again. There's going to be quite a few more in here than there is in Dwarven one. You get 5 miniatures in here, and of course all the extra cards, 60 cards in here. Some you can use with other factions, some you can't. I'll bring them all to you here in a second. So each starter, of course, is going to have the sprues, some instructions, and then the cards to go along with it at the bottom. So model-wise, again, push fit, very easy. You're going to have your base, whatever attaches to the base, usually a second half, either a front or a back, and then an arm kind of piece. Some of these guys are lefts and rights instead of fronts and backs, which kind of makes sense because they're all crazy, jumping nimbly-bimbly from tree to tree and such right there, so that kind of makes sense. And the sprue itself, again, these guys are just as detailed as the dwarves, except for these guys actually have fur, which you can see sculpted there, and their tails going all crazy positions and such. I would definitely recommend being very careful as you clip these out so you don't mess up the tail or anything like that. But overall, they all look very well detailed with the fur sections, the tattered robes, even the bases, and I like how, you know, everything kind of divots into the base a very particular way and such right there. So let's clip one of these bad boys out and show you just how easy it is to put it together. And there's all the pieces for the leader mans, and I assume this is going to go together pretty easy. You just got to line up everything correctly, I suppose. So left and right half of the sewer part here, sewer cover. And I really like how this stuff goes on onto the base. You see little rats swimming in the sewer itself there. This will be really exciting to paint for anybody picking this starter up and lining this. Traditionally there's been a decent amount of gaps sometimes if you don't clip all the sprues off, but for the most part that hasn't been the case here. Just a little careful application of force gets you assembled literally quicker than it took to cut those off. And look at that detail. Of course, there's big chunks of flash on there that we're gonna, you know, we would get off. We go back and trim up and apply normal glue. But I mean, look at all that armor detail, the cape detail, tail, the base itself. I mean, these are just fantastic. I don't know what to say. Like, it's an incredible price for the value from Games Workshop. I feel like we've come, plastic's definitely come a long ways. I don't know how this is possible. Is this real life? Like, this is crazy. Super fresh. Now for the cards themselves, again, they're 60, just like the other two starters there. I don't think I divided these up, but that's okay. We can figure it out from here. So here's the player cards, or the expansion cards for the Skavens, right? You got your 5 guys here. Lurking Skaven, the almost trusted. Oh no, he was almost trusted. You were almost people. And then it goes into, of course, their restricted upgrades here, their objectives, a big stack of those as well, which we're not going to really get into, but we're going to show everybody. And then, of course, their ploys, big grip of those. Boom, so there's all their cards. And then we'll show you the universal stuff, because I'm sure there's a lot of folks out there like, oh man, do I really need to pick up this expansion? I don't know if I need to. So here's the universal objectives. Get these down here so you can see it. Now, of course, some of these are probably duplicated, but there might be some new ones. So there's the first 8 and the last 3. Moving on now to deploys. We've got a few of those as well. 10 to 11 of each of these cards, depending on what they are. Looks like there's only 10 of these. And 9 and 10. And then, of course, the upgrades. Gotta get that Boucher and then spend it, right? Am I right? Am I right? Actually, oh, those are Skaven specific. Put those in the wrong pile. So 10 of these all together. So that's it for this one. The brand new expansions for Shadespire are here finally. 2 brand new factions. Who knows what's going to be next for Warhammer Underworlds, but either way, they're judging by the stuff we've seen already. There's plenty out there, and I think this game is just gearing up with all the organized play and stuff that is out there. So if you like these types of unboxing and build features here on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications to be the very first to like and comment on all these videos.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.